Okay, so you guys said that you liked these videos where I'm just doing a talk and with the background, so I'm going to incorporate some of these when I got time, of course. So one of the first things that came to my mind when I was like, what's the next one I can do just like this, is something on the 5 models of magic. And I know I touched that on a previous video on where does magic come from. I think I mentioned like 2 of them, but let's dive into like all 5. Now these are basically explained by Frater UD, but I thought I'd kind of flesh them out a little bit in a little video. So the first model is the spirit model, basically the idea that magic or the ability to affect things in a magical manner comes from working with spirits, and working with spirits like primarily alone. That means that anytime that we are working magic, we are petitioning spirits in a certain way to affect things in a way different than our normal up work home TV bed physical, create things and make changes on a physical level, but more on a spiritual level, working with spirits, right? Now I am working with the Word document here, so I just gotta move around on it. Makes it a little bit easier with a recording, actually. Now the energy model, which is the next one, basically states that there is this energy that is around us all the time, and we can just manipulate it. So it's like that whole, if you've studied Wicca and stuff, they talk about the web that connects everything. It's effectively that, and what we do is we touch on that energy that's just kind of hanging around in order to make it create changes in the ways that we want to. Now, if you study metaphysics and stuff from some schools and whatnot, then you'll understand that any time that we have a thought or something, it affects that energetic stuff that's in between you and me, and it goes around everywhere. So certain schools of metaphysics, they do heavily rely on this energetic model, but anytime that you do a thought, even it influences the energy. When you do a spell, it influences the energy even more, because you have all of the all the psychodrama, the big flowy stuff where you make a big pomp and circumstance out of it. So there's much more of a oomph when it comes to influencing that energy. So then we have the psychological model, which I do talk about heavily because my bachelor's is in psych. And, if you've watched this channel at all, I kind of lean on the psychological model, and in a way, kind of an amalgamation of all 5 of these models, in my own personal belief. But the psychological model is basically that when we do magic, we are really generating psychodrama, which then influences the way that we work, think, and act on a conscious and subconscious level in order to change whatever. So when it comes to finding opportunities, we are subconsciously programmed to find them. When it comes to changing certain things in our lives, we are programming ourselves at a deep level in order to change our actions, and therefore change what we get into and change how those things turn out, so we can, for lack of a better term, have a self-fulfilling prophecy and make the different things that we want to have happen. The psychological model basically goes along the idea that it is all mental. So it doesn't have anything to do with anything out of the 5 senses and stuff like that. It's just purely a mental thing. So the psychological model kind of goes towards the idea of like manifestation or the secret, but I believe that it's way more than that. Now the information model, it's kind of an interesting one. I'm kind of digging at it a little bit as I'm talking. It's interesting in the fact that, let's see, information doesn't have master energy, therefore it's faster than light and not bound by restrictions of our 4-dimensional reality. And on a side note, I hate the people that say we're moving into 4D. We're already in 4D, because you have height, length, width, and time. That's 4 dimensions. But basically, the idea of the information model is energy is dumb, energy's stupid, energy doesn't know what it's doing, and when we have a thought or something, we're influencing it. So any of our thoughts and stuff they influence the universe at large. It's kind of very similar to the energetic model, but it kind of takes more of a sciencey approach to it. Basically, the idea that the energy model is all about stuff being energy, but the what am I calling it? The information model is effectively looking at the multiverse, let's say, as a giant computer, and anything that we program into it with our thoughts, intentions, actions, and spells and rituals stuff, it works in the algorithm, therefore, to make something happen. So it's as if there's all these zeros, and we can influence it to be ones and zeros, and therefore generate code to generate a program, and that program is what we want to have happen. And then the meta model, very interesting. Let's see. The meta model is all about like the big picture and kind of the more of a ceremonial magic kind of thing where this one's very, very interesting. I'm sorry I'm lagging so much on this kind of stuff, but the meta model, yeah, from what I'm looking at, it combines all the other ones that I talked about. So it's got the idea of energetics, the idea of information, the idea of spirits, and the psychological model. So it's more of a smorgasbord of the other four. And this is where I lean on stuff, because I think if we try to put magic in a box of it's only in your head, or it's only working with spirits, or it's only energetic manipulation, or it's only just thoughts and intentions, then we're putting ourselves in a little box and cutting ourselves off from other opportunities and other ways of working magic. Because you could work on the psychological model and then cut yourself off from a lot of the different psychodramatic activities, or even the idea of working with spirits, and then you are missing out on the different things that you could do, or different kinds of help that you could get. Arguably, you could say that you could still work with spirits and stuff because they're archetypes and whatever, but I'm not going to mince words with you here. The meta model is, I believe, the best way to approach it, because it's got all the tools, it's got all the traditions and all the ideas in there. And the more that you play around with those different ideas, and the more that you learn about every single angle and every way to execute spell work, and even learning how the mind works, and any magician should really study psychology, honestly, but having all of those things and learning from all of those schools or models, let's say, gives you a very well-rounded understanding of what you can do as a magical practitioner. So, yeah, sorry about the little bit of a mental lag in there, but I'm trying to come up with something today, and I hope you guys like it. So, drop some stuff in the comments. What is kind of your approach to magic? Which model do you kind of lean to? And once again, let me know if you like this recording kind of video that I'm making now, because as much as I try to get in front of the camera and stuff, this is a tad bit easier. I'm not going to switch over to completely doing all of these just with my voice, but on sometimes when I just have the motivation to do this, or I can squeeze this in and therefore I don't have to process a whole video and all that stuff, then I probably am going to be doing these, because this helps me get out content a little bit faster. So let me know what you guys think about this. You can check out all of my other videos, check out my courses on Udemy, and any of my books and stuff, the information of which you can find at the end of this video, and there's a bunch of links down in the description. Good hunting. Thanks for watching my video. So if you want to check out my playlists, I have, among others, the Simon Necronomicon, the Tree of Life, General Magic, Tulpamancy, a playlist on my books, the elements, stones, the theories that govern magic, and the gods and goddesses of Mesopotamia. If you want to check out my books on Amazon, I have Creating Consciousness, Magical Mechanics, Magical Theater, Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Movement, which is an update and expansion upon Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Mastery, which is a combination masterwork of Magical Theater and Magical Mechanics, and The Guide to the Spheres and Beyond. You can also find me on Facebook at Magickology YT. You can email me at priestofthenecro@gmail.com, and you can even check out my Instagram, which is Magickology. And good hunting.